Hello everyone, Thomas Hyman here, founder and CEO of Realty Partners. And in today's training session, I want to really dig deep into our Commissions Inc. website and some of the things I bet you didn't know you were able to do with this amazing tool. Plus, I wanted to show you how you can utilize a couple of hidden resource pages in your marketing. And right now we have 3 that are available, 3 marketing pages for buyers and sellers. And we're going to add to that list, and I'm going to have a document in the back office showing all of the additional hidden resource pages. And by hidden, I mean pages that are not linked up to here, because we have the ability to create custom additional pages, and obviously we could add more links up here on top. One link that we will add here soon is going to be a blog link, but because probably 75% of all people are accessing the website through a mobile device, you don't want to have a dozen links up here, which would take up half the mobile phone screen by having 3 rows of links. So without further ado, let me start by the website that is right here before us and point out a couple of things to you that just from talking to different agents really aren't aware of. And part of that confusion could be due to the virtual domain aspect that agents are able to use vis-a-vis our main corporate domain. Now, by default, our corporate website here is Bradenton and Sarasota homesearch.com, and that is simply a domain name that is used to maximize search engine optimization because it deals with Bradenton and Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Venice, and nearby beaches. So it gets categorized in the search engines accordingly, and having a domain like Bradenton and Sarasota homesearch.com is more suitable for that than, let's say, realtypartners.com or srqrealtypartners.com. But we have, for example, srqrealtypartners.com, which goes to exactly the same page. And we have, of course, our site of just realtypartners.com. which also goes to the very same site. So realtypartners.com and srqrealtypartners.com, for example, is really an alias to this main site here. And it operates just like a agent's virtual domain. So srqrealtypartners.com is just like yourdomain.com if we configure it to work with our website. Now, there's one difference, and that is when you go to, let's say, srqrealtypartners.com, and because it is a domain forwarding setup, when you click around here, let's say you go to map search or you go to agent opportunities, the address up here that is shown in the address bar does not change. However, if I go back to BradentonSarasotaHomesearch.com and I click on map search or I click on agent opportunities, you can see how this address bar here changes. Now, when it comes to doing marketing, advertising, pardon me, for homes for sale, let's just go to the homepage and click on one of the pre-configured search links down here. You can see that there is a quite complex search code in here, and so if you're going to go ahead and advertise that for Facebook marketing or your own marketing, you would want to make sure that either you have your name in here, like let's say Barbara.Bradenton@SarasotaHomesearch.com, which goes to her subdomain, and by doing so, it will ensure that she gets credit when somebody here registers. But you could also just replace this part with her custom domain. So HemingwayRealtor.com basically replaces www.bradenton@SarasotaHomesearch.com. And the same search URL will work with her virtual domain, and it will track her when somebody registers. So very important that you use either your subdomain, like your name, Joe or Frank or Barbara, .Bradenton@SarasotaHomesearch.com, or use your virtual domain. And you want to make sure that this URL that you then copy for your marketing, for your Facebook ads, for whatever you might be doing, has either your subdomain in here or has your custom domain. Okay. Now, on that note, you can use your virtual domain also for any of these other things here. So, for example, if you click on Home Evaluation. Home Evaluation is a great tool that somebody can use to generate seller leads. And it's an amazing tool. Use it on your own website with your own home address, for example. I would say in 9 out of 10 cases, it's going to generate a home evaluation right away. It is a Zillow type home evaluation. If for some reason it can't, then it lets them know that the agent's going to be in touch with them shortly with a report. But you get all of their information, and you now also have their mailing address. So you can call them, follow up with them. You can send them a thank you card because you now know what their address is. And this tool can also be used with your virtual domain. So again, you could put in Barbara.Bradenton@SarasotaHomesearch.com if you're Barbara, or you could put your domain names. Let's say, for example, I'm putting here srqrealtypartners.com /home value/value, and it pops up and it's linked now to your virtual domain. Okay, so you can utilize these tools in your own marketing, in your own lead generation, to generate seller leads. For example, you could run campaigns on Facebook, for instance, or Google AdWords with your domain, with this URL directly, advertising, home evaluation, what your home is worth. Now notice, because I was in a virtual domain, this URL carries forward, even though I'm back here now at the main page. So you want to use, ideally, your virtual domain URL string only to get to a specific landing page. Now here's another one that you can use. It's our opportunities with Realty Partners, the agent-owned company. So agent opportunities, this page here, if you use your subdomain, so joe.bradenton@SarasotaHomesearch.com /careers, or you use your virtual domain /careers, it takes them directly to this page, this tab, which you can use in your recruiting. And somebody that clicks on here and registers automatically is assigned to you. Likewise, just as an aside, if you have your domain, let's say, is Realty Places, realtyplaces.com, which is Frank's domain. It goes to the site here. And if somebody comes on here and clicks on home evaluation or does a search, he automatically gets credit for any of that. If somebody clicks on agent opportunity, he automatically gets credit for that. and so you can use this site for a lot of different things. Now, as I mentioned, we have some hidden resources because we cannot have a dozen tabs on here. So right now we have a couple of things that are designed for sellers, and then we have one item that is for buyers. And you can, for example, use these links, put them on a notepad, copy and paste them over to use in emails. You could put them also into your signature file. You could shorten the URL if you want to, using something like bit.ly. They're also contained in some of the drip campaigns that kick off from the system. But the first one is a free report about, get more money when you sell. So I'm just going to paste this in here, and I have this link now to Barbara's virtual domain. So it could be barbara.bradenton@sarasotahomesearch.com, or her virtual domain, hemingwayrealtor.com. Go straight to her, and when somebody registers, she gets the lead. And so, this is, again, a lead generation thing. Get more money when you sell. And it basically is a strategy of, here's a report with some information. We're going to tease you. So here's, for reduce any clutter. But if you want to continue reading, you have to register. Okay? So if they like what they see, they're going to register to continue reading. They get the full information. And then, of course, you will be getting their information. Okay? Now, if you're logged into your system before you go to this page, then it automatically should show you the additional paragraphs here. So this is the first one. Get more money when you sell. And the URL is basically your domain /info/get_more get more money when you sell, with a hyphen or a dash in between each of the words. And again, I'm going to have these links on the back office. On the back office, I'm going to have them all with the regular www.bradenton@sarasotahomesearch.com URL, and then you can just replace it. Either replace the www at the front with your unique name, like Frank or Barbara or Joe, or you can replace the whole domain with your domain name, like I did here with hemingwayrealtor.com. The second page is, why you should use an agent to sell your home. Okay? So this is, again, a free report series with all these reasons why you should use an agent to sell your home versus doing it yourself. And the person puts in their information here, registers, then they get to see the rest of the information, and you'll have them in your CRM. You get your notification of the lead, obviously a seller lead in this case, and they get the full report. Now at the top, you're going to see here these links, okay? And when you click on these links, the first one is home. You just go straight here back to the home page. And then there's one here for buyers and sellers. And so on the buyer pages, it has information for buyers, and we'll get to this one here in a minute. On the sellers, it has these two reports, and we'll be adding more stuff to this. And Commissions Inc. is working on adding more stuff to this, but I'm showing you this because you could also link directly to this URL here, for example. Now, on the seller side, we looked at both of these: get more money when you sell, and why you should use an agent to sell your home. On the buyer side, very similar. Your checklist before you buy your next home. And you click on that, So here's the checklist. And again, in order to get the full information, person has to register, then they get the additional information. Now notice that the registration is different on the buyer side, much less information than on the seller side. On the seller side, we're obviously soliciting information about their property so we can then, get some, help them with a home evaluation, etc., etc. So again, these are 3 reports or 3 pages right now, lead generation pages that are set up that are just the beginning. There will be more stuff coming online, and eventually we may put the buyers and sellers pages thing onto the main page up here on the tab. But we want to flesh it out more. But these are resources that you can use right now in your marketing. And again, I just want to stress the point that with this website, you can do anything and link to anything directly from your own virtual domain site. It now supports complete URL redirect. So if you're at map search, for example, here, and you could go ahead and replace this URL, and it's going to take you to the exact same place, but now coded. Oops. You try that again. You can code it to the agent, obviously, and that works. Let's try it with. So this is always going to work for you 100% no matter what, but let's try it with the virtual domain. Yep, it works here as well. So go ahead and test it, obviously. Make sure that it is working for you. If for some reason it isn't working for your domain, send me an email and I will troubleshoot it for you. But it should totally work for you. And anytime you use your subdomain, like barbara.braden@homeswitch.com or hemingwayrealtor.com in her case, everything is coded to you as the agent, and you get the leads that are generated, whether it's from the searches, whether it is from your home evaluations up here, or whether it is from any of the other stuff that is taking place in here, such as these special reports that we talked about just a couple of minutes ago. Like this one here, why you should use an agent to sell your home. If it's done using your domain or your subdomain, then it will come straight to you. Okay, so enjoy this. There are going to be some additional resources being added to the Commissions Inc. site. I'm going to shoot out some updates probably in a couple of weeks. Also, Commissions Inc. is sending out updates to all users as well from time to time. Plus, make sure to check in the training area in the back of Commissions Inc. for any kind of updates or trainings that are being set up in there. And I really invite you to get the most out of this platform. Again, the purpose of the Commissions Inc. platform is not just for you to get some leads from the company-generated lead generation program, but this is truly a $2,000 a month IDX website solution with an amazing CRM backend that allows you to market yourself and do lead generation in a number of ways by yourself on your own, and it's just a far more superior platform than you would get anywhere else if you paid $500 or even $1,000 a month to get an IDX solution, and then you would have a very limited platform and you would still have to market it. So look at this as your tool and play around with it and see what appeals to you. I know a lot of agents are talking about listings. Well, the home evaluation thing is probably one you would want to market then aggressively in moving forward. And by the way, we're going to make some additional pages that will also have a direct link that will be along the line of what's your Bradenton home worth, what's your Lakewood Ranch home worth, what's your Sarasota home worth, what's your Sarasota condo worth, so that you can then use those in direct targeted marketing, and that should be online also within the next week or two. So in 2 weeks, there's going to be an update to that, and thanks to Frank for that. He is using a service that facilitates that, and I thought to myself, that's really, really great. So I talked to Commissions Inc. Can we customize it? And they said absolutely. So we're going to roll that out as well. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, if you have any questions that are not answered in our training videos or in the training library in the back office, please go ahead and shoot me a message, and I'll be happy to help. Take care.